Hello Keyforgers and welcome back. I know it has been an extremely long time since my last upload. I do promise you now that you are going to get a video a day at least for the next month, because I have lots of new content and hopefully I will be able to stick with it this time. Some of the things that we are going to go through are Aember Skies, because I owe you some Aember Skies videos. Also, I definitely owe you some prophetic visions videos. We will be taking a deep dive into both of those sets. Also, Crucible Clash. I've had some experience with it now. This is the only sealed deck that I have left, and we will be opening it up on a video. I went to France for the Vault tour. I want to do 3 videos about my experience there. One for Archon, one for Alliance, and one for Sealed. I want to do some set reviews, especially of the later sets. So from Winds of Exchange, Grim Reminders, Aember Skies and Prophetic Visions. We may even visit some of the older sets as well. And a small mini-series that is going to run, probably for quite a while, is my top 20 decks from each set. Now 20 is a rough estimate because things like Winds of Exchange, I've kept a few more because of the token creatures, and I had a few more decks that I wanted to put into my permanent collection. Those will be shorter videos than I usually do. There won't be any deck analysis. It will just be the deck reveal, and maybe you can comment on why you think I chose that deck to keep. That's all my ramblings, so let's get into a deck and start with Aember Skies. Now, I have a friend who says the second from the bottom on the left is the best deck, so let's pick that one out. I will be opening up all of these and doing videos on all of them, but this is the one we are going to start with. Let's get into it. We have Logos, Dis and Brobnar, and we have Alston of Verdpur. Verdpur? Not entirely sure how to say that. Let's take a closer look. That is the deck list. That is the rules card. Turning over. Right, we are starting with Logos. Placeholder is an action. You get an amber when you play it. Play. Move a creature to the flank of its controller's battle line and deal 2 damage to it. If it is not destroyed, repeat the preceding effect. Hologramophone is an artifact. You get an amber when you play it, and it has a Dis house enhancement. Action, ward a creature. Effervescent Principle is an action. It's got a Brobnar house enhancement. Play, each player loses half their amber, rounding down the loss, gain 1 chain. Daughter, 2 power and elusive. Refill your hand to 1 additional card during your draw card step. Articulated Wren, 3 power with hazardous 1, and has a damage enhancement. At the end of your turn, you may exhaust a friendly creature. If you do, draw a card. DDoS is an upgrade. You get an amber when you play it. This creature gains. Your opponent cannot play creatures more powerful than this creature. A very nice upgrade. Code Monkey, 3 power with deploy. Play, archive each neighbouring creature. If those creatures share a house, gain 2 amber. A second Code Monkey. Command Prompt, 2 power. After Reap, you may play a non-Logos card this turn. Candle Unit, 5 power, 1 armor. After an enemy creature reaps, draw a card. Action, capture 1. Vespilion Theorist, 2 power with elusive. After Reap, choose a house. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it is of that house, archive it and gain 1 amber. Otherwise, discard it. Entropic Swirl is an action. Play, choose a creature. For each trait that creature has, deal 2 damage to it and gain 1 amber. Now on to Dis, starting out with Sinestra, 5 power. After your opponent plays a creature on their left flank, they lose 1 amber. Ven Umwok, I'm probably butchering that name, 2 power with poison. During their draw card step, your opponent refills their hand to 1 less card. Slayer, 3 power with skirmish and splash attack 3. It has a damage enhancement. If there are no enemy creatures in play, destroy Slayer. A second Slayer. Sirin, 4 power, it's put a Dis enhancement in the deck. Scrap, deal 2 damage to a friendly creature. Mind Fire is an action. Play, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Steal 1 amber for each bonus icon on the discarded card. A second Mind Fire. Dust Imp, 2 power, it is Brobnar enhanced. Destroyed, gain 2 amber. A second Dust Imp. Gift of Amber is an action. Get an amber when you play it. Play, destroy up to 2 creatures. For each creature destroyed this way, the creature's controller gains 1. Very nice with 2 Dust Imps. Try Hard, 3 power. Play, each player randomly discards 1/3 of the cards from their hand, rounding down. A second Try Hard, that is nasty. And on to Brobnar. Starting out with Fancy Donovan. 4 power, it put a Brobnar enhancement in the deck. Scrap, ready and fight with a friendly non-Brobnar creature. A second Fancy Donovan, this one with a damage enhancement. Dreadstar the Lone, 5 power. If there are no other friendly Brobnar creatures in play, Dreadstar the Lone gains Versatile. After fight, your opponent loses 1 amber. Strength Within is an upgrade. You get an amber when you play it, and it's got a damage enhancement. It's also put 2 damage enhancements in the deck. This creature gains your opponent's keys, cost +1 for each damage on this creature. A second Strength Within. Smith is an action. You get an amber when you play it. Play. Gain 2 amber if you control more creatures than your opponent. Nagu Yani, 3 power. Play, and after fight, deal 4 damage to an enemy creature. Scrap, deal 2 damage to each enemy flank creature. Grenade Snip, 2 power. Destroyed, your opponent loses 2 amber. Crunch, 2 power. After fight, after reap, give Crunch a number of +1 power counters equal to a neighbouring creature's power. Clap of Thunder is an action. Play, destroy the least powerful creature. Ready and enrage the most powerful creature. Broken Axe Outpost is an artifact. You get an amber when you play it. Action, put a friendly creature on the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, deal 6 damage to an enemy creature. Lava Ball is an action. Play, deal 4 damage to a creature with 2 damage splash. And there we have it. Let's take a closer look. The breakdown for Alston was 9 actions, 22 creatures, 2 upgrades and 3 artifacts. There was only 8 printed amber in this deck. It had 4 damage enhancements and 3 house enhancements, 2 of them Brobnar and 1 of them Dis. If we start with amber control, in the Brobnar we had the Grenade Snib and we had the 2 Strength Withins, which were the only 2 upgrades in our deck. Now, increasing your opponent's key cost for each damage on this creature, there were only 3 creatures in this deck that had 5 health. Everything else was lower than 5 health. Dreadstar was an option. It also has that after fight your opponent loses 1 amber. Sinestra, 5 power, passive effect of your opponent plays a creature on the left flank, they lose 1 amber. Most of the time this never fires because people are aware of the ability. Unless you're playing on the Crucible, you dump down 4 creatures and you're like, where did my amber go? That's usually how you catch people out there. And then the Candle unit. It does have 1 armor, so you'd have to attack something with more than 1 power to get strength from within to fire. And it's got that action there, capture 1. So actually our 3 5-power creatures also had amber control and their targets from strength within. We had the 2 Mind Fires, very nice disruption cards. You're discarding a random card from your opponent's hand, so they're going to start their turn with less cards, and then you're going to steal 1 for each bonus icon on the discarded card. And then, scaling amber control, we had an effervescent principle. Great thing about the effervescent principle, it is Brobnar enhanced, so we can put it off in 2 separate houses, Logos and Brobnar. Now a couple of those will contribute towards amber generation, namely our 2 Mind Fires. Rest of the amber generation, which we saw when we opened the deck, was our 2 Dust Imps, one of them Brobnar enhanced, which was nice, and then the Gift of Amber. So if we play both and then we Gift of Amber and we destroy them both, we're gaining 2 each for the Dust Imps, so that's 4, plus another 2 for the Gift of Amber, plus another 1 for the Amber Pip, so that's 7 amber in 1 turn. That's quite a nice ramp there. We don't really have a way of recurring those dust imps from our discard pile, but we do have recursion in the deck, but it's very anti-synergy with those dust imps because it comes from our code monkeys. So that's probably not the target for our code monkeys. If we do have other creatures that share a house and we want to archive them, maybe we're ahead on board, maybe our opponent doesn't have a board, that's a nice way to generate 2 amber. We do have some other ways to take out those dust imps, namely in Logos. We have an entropic swirl, so if we targeted a dust imp, we'd deal 2 damage because it has a trait of imp, so we'd actually gain 3 amber from destroying it. Placeholder, again, would give us 3 amber. Sadly, unless we find some way to enhance our dust imps, we can't repeat it, but if we enhance them, they wouldn't die anyway, so again, just 3 amber. Vespilion Theorist, elusive. After Reap, choose a house, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is of that house, archive it and gain 1, otherwise discard it. I couldn't see any way of finding out the top card of our deck, so that's going to be a guess. And then we had Smith. Gain 2 if you control more creatures than your opponent, and you gain an amber as well, so that's a 3 amber boost. So generation is there. With 22 creatures, though they are slightly smaller, powered creatures, reaping is an option as well. There was no artifact control, so whether it's soft control or hard control, we cannot remove artifacts from the board. Creature control, we had the 2 Slayers, one of them with a damage enhancement there. Their Skirmish and Splash Attack 3, very nice for getting around elusives and taunts. Our Broken Axe Outpost, put a friendly creature on the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, deal 6 damage to an enemy creature. A very nice target for our code monkeys, actually. They've got the play effect, we want to get that play effect back around, put them on the bottom of our deck, we're dealing 6 damage to another creature. Fancy Donovan, scrap effects here of ready and fight with a friendly non-Brobnar creature. Clap of Thunder, destroy the least powerful creature, ready and enrage the most powerful creature. Again, probably a nice way to take one of our dust imps off the board and maybe ready one of our 5 power. It's not always going to work, might be a nice way to enrage a high-powered enemy creature, but your opponent will probably want to fight with it anyway. Naguyani, I do like this card. 3 power with a play and after fight ability of a straight 4 damage to an enemy creature. So you can play it on an empty board and it won't kill itself. And scrap to deal 2 damage to each enemy flanked creature. And then our Lava Ball. Again, direct damage. 4 damage with 2 splash. Now we didn't have any board wipes, but that is quite a nice control within the deck, especially with 22 creatures. There were some other things to look at. We had some efficiency, namely in Logos. We had the Daughter, the Articulated Wren, and the Command Prompt. The Daughter and the Articulated Wren having passive effects, and the Command Prompt having that after Reap to play an out of house card. We had some disruption. We had the Ven along with the 2 other Mind Fires, but the Ven, your opponent draws 1 less card during their draw card step, and it has poison as well. We had the 2 Tryhards, very annoying cards if you've ever had them played against you. Each player randomly discards 1/3 of the cards from their hand, rounding down. Usually a player is holding 6 cards, so they're going to lose 2. So they're going to start their turn with 4 cards. And then we had DDoS. So we do have 3 upgrades, apologies. Yeah, 3 upgrades here. This creature gains your opponent cannot play creatures more powerful than this creature. We want to put it on something probably like our Ven. At a push, we can put it on a Dust Imp because our opponent's going to want to take it out anyway. DDoS has won games before. It is a very nasty upgrade. If it comes out early, sometimes you can just shake your opponent's hand and go, GG, well played, I don't like that deck. Very nice disruption. There were a few other cards, didn't really know where to place them. Crunch, you could put it under creature control because it's going to want to fight, but it's going to want to Reap first to build up its power counters. Serene, 4 power, scrap, deal 2 damage to a friendly creature. And Hologramophone. Great thing about house enhancements is when they fall on artifacts, because now we can use this action on a Dis or a Logos turn. My luck, namely in Prophetic Visions, is to get house enhanced artifacts that have Omni abilities. So aside from playing them on the house that they're enhanced with, there's usually not much extra effect, but this is a very good house enhancement. Overall, a pretty solid deck. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to take it for a run on the Crucible. All that remains for me to say is good luck, have fun, keep forging.